about a man that went through a lot of trials in his life. Like the woman, how you know it's in a painting, I mean, the picture that, the fire struck and everything, and it was a big trial in her life. But we're going to be talking about Job and how he went to many trials in his life. Okay, so Job was in the Bible, and so Job was in the Bible, and Job was a very rich man. I mean, very rich. He was like, if he was here today, he'd be a millionaire. Very rich. He had everything. He had houses, pots, horses, lambs, everything. Can you picture that? It's everything. All the toys, anything, everything in the world. He had everything. And but he also worshiped God. He loved God with all of his heart. He used to praise him day and night. He loved God so much. And that's what God loved about him. And so that's why God blessed him with all this stuff, with his family and with everything. And so one day, one day in heaven, God was bragging about Job and how Job was amazing and how Job was perfect in all things and he was doing everything right. And he called all of his angels and he showed off like a little thing of Job. And he was like, oh my gosh, look at my son. He's doing everything right. He's doing everything good. But you know who also came with all the angels? The devil. He came. Yeah, oh no. He came up. He came. And so, he says, he was like, he only prays and worships you because you give him all that money. You give him everything. He's like the millionaire. That's the only reason why he prays and worships you. And so God was like, no, he doesn't. And then the devil was like, well, if you took it all away right now, he would not praise me not a day in his life, not one bit. And so God allowed the devil to allow him to do that. And that's what the devil did. So God allowed him to come and do things in his life. And so that's exactly what the devil did. And so he went back to earth and he did all those things that God allowed him to do. And so one day, Job was in the field, like he was just walking in the field, and all these men come up to him, and they're all talking at once. They're like, "Wow, wow, wow, wow." And so they're all talking at once. And so it was confusing for Job. And Job was like, slow down, hold on. He needed to breathe. and so and so they all went one at a time. And one man was like, oh my gosh, your butler was like, because Job had butlers, he was very rich. Your butlers and all your horses, everything, they just died. And they drank some bad water. And it was like, they just all died. And then one was like his family, like his children and his children's wives and husbands and all that. They were all having dinner. And all of a sudden, fire from heaven, like fire from the sky, just all of a sudden just came falling down on the house. And it killed them all. And so Job, when he heard about all these things, he was very, very sad. Job was so sad that he shaved his whole entire head off. He was very, very sad. And he was bald. And so, so Job, and so he lost all his money too. He lost everything. Everything that he had, he lost. And so, but he still praised and worshiped God. Through all these trials that he was going through, he still standed firm. And everything, when all this was going on, he standed firm. He stood on God's truth. He praised and he worshiped him. And so, but even Job's own wife told him to curse God. She told him, say mean things to God. Say why are you doing this? But Job did not. He did not listen to his wife. And with all this happening, Job went into a deep grief. And he became homeless. And he was very poor and all of that. And so he was so poor and he was so unhappy and grieving. His friends from faraway places came to all check on him. And so they all came. And for 7 days, sorry. Thank you. And so for 7 days, him and his friends sat in complete silence, quiet for 7 whole days. No one didn't talk to him. And they didn't even talk to each other. They were all just quiet. Can you picture that? Just sitting silent for 7 days?
No.
Can y'all picture that?
No.
No. I talk a lot. So yeah, no. But they were doing it for Joe because he was grieving so much. Because he was grieving and was very like in pain from losing his family, losing his butlers, losing his sheep, his cattle, and all his money. And so for 7 days he just sat in complete silence. And so, and after 7 days, then they try to offer him advice. But Job, but their advice was not really that good. They're like saying, like, well, you must have did something in the past where you like, you must have did something bad. And Job was like, no, I did nothing bad. Then they're all like, why is God doing this to you? And da 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 da. And so they're all like, you must have did something bad to cause God to do this to you. But Job did nothing bad. He was perfect in God's eyes. Perfect. And so that's what they kept on saying and just telling him. And Job knew that their advice was not really bad. It wasn't good. God, so Job needed advice from God, and that's what exactly happened. God gave him advice. You know how God gave him advice? Do a fat storm. Do a big war, like a fat storm started heading to Job and his friends, and they're all like, what was that? What is that? And so they got caught in this fat like storm and like this whirlwind. And so God started speaking to everybody, but mainly Job. And he was explaining to Job how, the world is very complex and you did nothing bad, you're perfect, you are amazing. And he was telling his friends that were trying to give him advice that were like, well, that wasn't the right advice, but he was also helping them with their walk with God. And after that, Job got everything back. He got double times his money, double times his ox, his sheep, his cows. He got everything back to him after he went through all those trials in his life. And so that's the thing. See, we all go through trials. Everyone. It can be bullying. It can be maybe you don't have a grandparent or a grandma or a mom. We all experience trials in our own way. I've been through trials in my own way, and we all go through trials, and that's the thing. Everyone goes on trials with God, and so you sit and question God and be like, why is this happening to me? You sit there, love God and just pray in that trial because God wouldn't give you the trial if He didn't know that you were going to persevere and grow and become more good through Christ and grow in His love. If when He was giving you the trial, He knew that you were going to grow, and so that's why sometimes God gives trials. And so and so God gives trials to everybody, and Job received everything that he got back. He got back everything that he wanted and everything. And he just kept on praising God. Yes. Yeah, well, he got more children. Yeah.
Did you get like double money?
Yeah. God gave him back everything. But twice, yeah, twice. Yes.
And he wasn't bald anymore?
Yeah, he got hair. He's not bald no more. He grows hair. And yeah, probably. He probably has a lot of hair. Yeah. And so that was my story about Job and what he went through.
Good job.
Oh, man, guys. So
pretty cool. That's pretty cool that we get, man. I'm so proud. That's so awesome, Jordan. You did an awesome job. Thank you so much for bringing that word. So right now what we were talking about is standing firm, right? So we gotta stand firm even when we go through trials. Now, for me, I grew up with my mom and a stepdad, but I didn't grow up with